Was good. Was good. Um, yeah, this is a Q&A. Um, I'm probably gonna drop the link as well if anybody wants to join the room, which usually no one does because everybody's a fucking bitch ass nigga. I won't say everyone, but because some people they join the room and they came. Not talking about the people who joined, but some niggas they just be like, oh, like it's funny. People like to talk all this mess and shit through like the comment section, but people can't go and fucking they don't even want to go and join and let their feelings be known. They can't even go and make their own YouTube channel. They can't even go and do that. That's how scared they are. Let alone go on someone else's fucking shit and let their feelings be known to the person. But then they'll say something behind the keyboard, which is weird. I'm not saying just go out there and just start trolling people and shit, but I'm saying like if you have the audacity to say something behind a keyboard, but then I dropped the link, but you can't say anything, then that just shows the type of person you are. But it is what it is, though. And I'm not saying like everybody who needs to join me is like has some issue that just says just join. If you guys want, join the chat, ask you some questions or some shit. Because I know it's a lot of people like they'll be in the room, but they just watch the videos. But then I go on these other stupid fucking faggot ass platforms. These niggas will sit there and people be joining the room, but then they won't be talking about shit. What I think it is I have so much information and knowledge and I'm just hella intelligent, and then people get caught up in what I'm saying that they feel like what they're saying is not really important. But the thing is, everybody is like here to actually help and shit. And so because a lot of things you guys may do, because I'm always learning, like I'm always looking at my surroundings. I'm not like these people who say, oh, I could only learn from this person, or no, I could learn from a homeless person, I could learn from a person on drugs, I could learn from a kid. I learn from that's how I do most of my learning. A lot of the shit I come up with in my ideas is because I'm observing life and I'm living life and I see patterns within life. So I can see how humans react, how they respond, just the way shit is, because I'm seeing it play out real time. Anytime when you're on the internet, always watching videos and getting information from a textbook, you're getting limited information because you're not actually engaging in real time life experience, which is where the learning comes first. Every person who wrote a book, they were in life in reality experiencing, and then they got that conclusion, wrote it in a book. So that's number one learning is experience. I'm not saying you never read books at all, because at the end of the day, if I'm intelligent and I know everything, which I do, if I read a book, I can even know more, and I can add on to everything I already know. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's no, it's like you made $10 million last year, and somebody's like, I'm gonna give you $1 million. I already have $2 million. I don't want it. No, nigga, it's more money. So I do read books, but the books just add on to my information, and sometimes the books make me be able to expose. I can expose the bullshit. So like the reason I watch a lot of these conscious spiritual channels, and I'll sometimes I don't even read the books, but I'll watch a lot of these lectures and shit, is so I can see the bullshit. I can see the lies, because with the way they talk, you can see you can see what they say and it can confirm what you're experiencing and what's a lie. Like they just expose themselves. Like, for an example, you'll see how these black conscious community, they'll talk about Anunnaki and aliens being black. That's bullshit. The Anunnaki and aliens aren't being black. But when you watch the videos and you have them go deep in to what they're talking about, they always reference some Jewish book or some book by Aleister Crowley, which is a Mason or somebody from this Masonic mind. Because you got to understand, like 99% of the world is on this Masonic mind. So if everybody's on this Masonic mind, you need to ask yourself, where the fuck are people getting this Masonic mind? And the Masonic mind is so deep. It's how you think. Like when a situation presents itself, your first response to how to solve that situation, that's that can be Masonic. So you may say, oh, I'm broke, I need to go out and find work to get money. That's in a small form, that's Masonic. I'm not saying you never should work, but that's a small form, because there's other examples in reality that show you people made money without working. But I'm not saying everyone needs to not work, because some people may need to work. Your karma could be that fucked up, and you may have lessons, or you're a new spirit and you need to experience certain things, so you may need to work. So I'm not saying that, oh, everybody should. I'm just speaking for me and the people who watch my channel. One thing I realized, the people who watch my channel and me, we've came here too many times. This is why we're intelligent. This is why we're different. We came here too many times, and we shouldn't be here right now. So this is why we're not like anyone else. We don't find the shit entertaining and how, like, people ask me what's my hobby. I don't have, my hobby is doing whatever I got to do to get the fuck up out of here. That's my hobby. And the reason that's my hobby is because I've been here too many times. I've done everything. Like, I had a realization, and the spirit told me, like, I've done damn near everything in this reality. This is why I have the knowledge. Like, you guys see how much wisdom I have. It's not just knowledge, it's wisdom. So I can, like, break down a situation that I didn't experience in this body, and I know a lot about it. I even can probably teach somebody who's actually did it because I have so much experience in this reality. This is why I fucking hate it, because my mind is very sharp. So when where the mind goes, the body goes. So my mind is fucking sharp. So it's like, therefore, it plays out in this reality as my spirit is sharp because I've had a lot of experience. So it plays out as my mind being sharp. And then where the mind goes, the body goes. So this is why I act the way I act. I'm unique. I'm not the same as everyone else. But I'm not saying I don't have issues, because if I didn't have any issues, I wouldn't be fucking down here. That's the reason I'm down here, to resolve the fucking issues I have, which I am resolving. But, like, the thing is, though, like, shit ain't easy. Because I did a lot of shit in a past existence, and I'm like at the end of the day, you have to do what you got to do regardless. So let's just say you got a lot of bad karma and you did a lot of shit. You still got to do the mission on top of handle your shit. So I'm in a situation where, like, life is easy for me. Like, life isn't hard. It's just I have a lot of karma and bad things that is adding on to the shit I have to do. So even though, like, I have a mission to complete, but I have a whole bunch of other shit that's, like, blocking the mission, but I have to complete that because that shit I didn't deal with. So it's coming at it a lot more harder and intense. So it's kind of fucking me up, but at the same time, it's part of my mission, because if I don't complete that, I don't get to do to the mission. So I have to. So, like, that's the situation I'm in right now. Because if it wasn't for these blockers, I'll be a millionaire right now, and I'll have my shit popping, and everything will be. And, like, I'm not saying, like, I'll be like any of these motherfuckers out here, because, like I told you guys, like, I'm not trying to be part of the platform. I want to create my own platform. These Jewish people, they create platforms. These stupid niggers like fucking Floyd Mayweather and Jay-Z, they use the platform that fucking these Jews create. And then they sit there and complain. Like, at the end of the day, any celebrity that complains, you need to look at them like an idiot. At the end of the day, me and you are like, we're on the same, but we both have to go out and find ways to make money, make bills. Anybody who's making less than $1 million a year is damn near in a certain tax bracket, or making, I think, is less than 250,000 a year or something like that. They're in a certain tax bracket. So me and you on this level, and we can experience life. And there's times in life we're just chilling and having fun and doing our thing. Yeah, we complain, but at the end of the day, that's not all the time. But how do you have these celebrities who they get millions of dollars, and all these Jewish people take care of them and put their kids in all these schools, and they get all these privileges and shit and security, and then they have something to say? It's like, nigga, shut your stupid ass up. If you have something really to say, Michael Jordan's stupid bald-headed ass would took that fucking millions of dollars, or the billions, because I guess he sold the Grizzlies or some fucking NBA team. He sold it, he got $3 billion, but this stupid nigga can't even go make his own NBA. And then he wants to complain and cry that the Jews need to do this for black people. They need to. Then shut those stupid ass up, nigga. Black people need to do for black people, nigga. When I was in high school, I seen more black kids with stack full of money than I seen white kids. The first time I seen a stack full of money when I was from a black kid from the hood when I was in fucking high school. My parents made 6 figures. I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. Black people have money. I'm not saying everybody, but we had enough money to at least get our communities right. Black people just don't know how to spend our money. All this bank fraud and scamming and fucking niggas rapping about selling dope and shit. Niggas got money. It's just, the thing is, niggas want to have their cake and eat it. We don't want to make our system. We just want to be a part of their system and have them do the shit that we want them to do, which that's not how it's gonna fucking work, dumbass, because we're using their money. Your face ain't on that money. Do you know that person's face on that money? Do you know how to build a fucking skyscraper or any of this shit? Do you know how to create a mentality that have people actually believe that shit? Because to create a system is not just creating a physical. You got to create like a concept and a mentality and a mind. That's the first way to even create a system. You have to create a way of thinking. And then once enough people think that way, and then the physical plays out as relaxation and pleasurable and good, what people want, and then people are going to be forced to think your way so they can get into your system. This is why you feel like you got to go to school and get a job so you can participate and get a car. So we do that on our own level. This is how we create our system. We create our own way of thinking. Once enough people catch on to that thinking and we have our own system to play out, once people, they say, I fuck this system, I don't like the government system, they go to our shit, we get our energy, they get, we get their shit, get their energy, they got to do what they got to do to be in our shit. If they don't, they're outcasted like they outcast us. It's the same fucking thing. It's not like, oh, we have our system and everybody's going to be happy and peaceful and we're going to cater to everyone. No, we're going to have our shit the way we have it, and it's going to be structured, it's going to be good. It's not going to be like there's fucking controlling people, but at the same time, nigga, anytime you create a system, nigga, you got to be in like you go to jail. You can't be nice when you in jail because niggas will take advantage of you. You feel me? You got to be kind of mean and have rules and have structure and have law and the shit that's there. But it's in a way that benefits everyone, not in a way that's like motherfuckers could just come and just do whatever they want. The third view was good with it. I'm gonna read some of these comments. I'm just chilling right now. Yeah, like this is really what I feel like. I'm probably like I don't want to put anything out there, but I really want to, so much shit I want to accomplish in this life, but it's like I feel like I'm behind right now and I might not be able to complete what I need to complete, especially the way the time in life is just speeding up in general. Notice how all these changes are going on to the system. You see you see how fast and how quickly the life is speeding up. So it tells you that everything that's happening is correlated to what they do. They don't just do things for no reason. The reason why the world is the way it is right now, and they're making the economy like this, because the economy, the world, and all the current events, that's all man-made. And the reason why they're making it is because reality is speeding up and changing frequency. So this is why they're making it more chaotic. They're not just making it chaotic because they just want to make it. They're making it because they just like we got to get our shit together. They got to get their shit together. If they don't get their shit together, they're about to lose a 2,000-year-old plus system if they don't get their shit together. Which I hope they don't get their shit together, because right now we should have been more. Right now, you guys think we're like constricted right now, but it should have been worse. Like a lot of people should have got the little thing, and it should have been worse right now. But since we have this social media and people waking up, like people like me, we're talking, they can't really get off on their programs like they used to. Like if they, like for example, remember 9/11 when it happened, everyone believed that some fucking Arabs in a goddamn hood, a headdress committed that shit. Literally, people thought that. But if they do something like that now, there's so much social media. You got YouTube, you got all these platforms that are gonna scrutinizing and look at that shit and be like, get the fuck out of here. And so they can't just drop anything. This is what, even with the alien shit, is like, it's not even getting that much credence as they think they wanted to. It's getting some credence, but if they make a Project Bluebeam where they make a fake alien, they better make sure that shit is perfected, because if they fuck up with that, people aren't going to believe their programs no more. Just like the religion and all the other shit. Because the alien and the AI is the only two things they pretty much got, and the pandemic. Those are the three tools they got to keep people asleep. And if people don't wake up, they're going to probably even have more, like the metaverse and shit. But they only have a limited amount of tools. I think like the pandemic, AI, and then there was another one. I just fucking said it. But they only have so many fucking tools to control people. And then after that, people wake up, then they're not going to be able to do what they can do anymore, because people are woke. So they're going to have to come at us differently. And the one way you can tell the government looks at people stupid is CNN and Fox still exist. As long as CNN and Fox still exist, the government is not taking people serious, because if you look at the news network and how they create it, it's like a child wrote it. It's like they're trolling in a way. Like Fox, back in the day when they had it, it was like legitimate. And even though it was still fake news, the energy back in the day was so like on their side. It was, people believed it. Even though it was bullshit, it even sounded believable based on the energy. And if you weren't really awake, you had to be really awake at that time. But the energy, it sounded believable. Nowadays, anything they say, it doesn't sound believable. And it's because the social media age, it fucked it up. Because so many people are so desensitized to information, and then you got other people who are in these high positions leaking out fucking information. Like nobody takes CNN seriously like that. So this is why they have to do pandemic and talk about aliens and AI, because aliens, AI, and pandemic is like the only thing that can get their attention on the news. Or if they do like a killing of a black person, or like, but they can't keep doing those killings every day because that'd be suspicious. So it's like they can only do that every blue moon, or even if they did it every day, it'll be suspicious. But aliens, AI, that's all they can talk about, because that's all people, and pretty soon people are going to be immune to that, because with the psychology of human beings always get tired of something and always want to move on to the next, especially if they're not on a spiritual mission. Then they really got to get tired, and so eventually people are going to stop believing in their alien shit, so they're going to have to find a new thing. Fucking dumbass. Yeah, this shit is crazy though. Okay, I'm gonna read some of these questions. What's up with it? Yeah, exactly. Like idiots, pretty much. Yeah, it's a cult. It's a cult. That's all it is. And everybody participates in it, and everybody has their mind. Even people who say they hate the government, they still have a cult mind. This is why I say the mind control runs deep, because you have people who hate the government. Like those, those typical Trump supporters, or those Alex Jones people. They're like rednecks, they fat, they white, mostly, and they talk about freedom and we need our rights, and fucking amendment, and they're like fucking like all that like Trump and pro-America shit. Those type of niggas, they don't like the government, but they're programmed. Like that's an example of, because if you ran a system and it was bent on controlling people, you're gonna have people that are gonna hate you. So what you do to resolve that is you mind control them to hate you in a way that's not dangerous. So they hate you, but they hate you like, instead of like, they hate you, but you give them rocks to throw at you. But the rocks that they're throwing at you is really like something soft, like pillows. But they don't know. They think it's rocks. So they're throwing it thinking they're doing damage and they're against you, but they're really not. That's how the mind control is, because you have to do it, because if you don't do that and you have a system of this magnitude, people will take over it. So because people want to. So what you do is, when they want to take over the system, you mind control them to make them think that whatever they're doing is actually helping. So they'll be like, oh, I'm protesting and I'm doing, like, you niggas ain't doing shit. Because if you were, then you got to look at what's going on, what's happening in real time. Over the years, people been protesting for over a decade. We're in 2023. What's going on right now? Look at life right now. Don't fuck the internet, fuck the social media, fuck what I'm saying in my videos. What's going on in life right now? And has that helped? It has not. So that's it. That's it. It's done. It's a wrap. So what I'm saying is right. Motherfuckers is under this mind control cult, and they've been mind controlled to always use the government's energy without even knowing it. They can't help it. Just like these black people with this Hebrew Israelite NOI Islamic bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that crap. First of all, nobody better call me a fucking Hebrew Israelite. I'm not black. I'm not a Moor. I'm not any of that shit. Don't call me a god. Don't call me Anunnaki. If anything, nigga, you can say I got some melanin. I'll say that, because that is a fact. We do got melanin. My skin is dark and shit. So I'll say that. But even then, like, why we got to keep pushing that shit, nigga? What the fuck is me saying that really doing? Like, people are dumb. Okay, we know we got it, but that's it. Like, people are fucking. Yeah, I'm about to go head out to the store though. The store is supposed to open at 8. Oh, he said All right, hold on. Let me add you. All right, for sure. Damn, I was about to go. I'm about to go to the store right now. I'm about to drive, and I don't really want to. I'm gonna put the phone right here, and I'm gonna be driving because I don't want to be looking at the phone because they be. Yeah, I don't want to get this car. Yeah, I put the link there if anybody wants to join. This was supposed to be really a short live because I was the store that I was going to is opens at 8, so I was waiting to 8. Yeah. Oh damn! I always forget to put bring this shit down because it be hella hot in here. He's like, I'm up early. This ain't early. 8 o'clock ain't early to me. 8 o'clock. See, like we in a different time right now. 8 o'clock is actually fucking the new 11 o'clock. Everything is like 3 hours ahead. We in a different time. So 6 o'clock in the morning is actually 9 o'clock in the morning now. Because the energy is we in a different energy. I remember back in the day, like back in 2018, I woke up at 6 in the morning to go to the gym every day. Remember, you guys on my other channel, you guys see me in the gym every night. I used to go to the gym, walk 3 miles to the gym, and walk 3 miles back home every single day for like 6 to 8 months. Going to the gym back in 2018, I was able to wake my ass up in the morning, go to the gym. I'm gonna be looking straight because I don't want these bastards to trip over my phone. But I was able to go do all this, and by the time I came back, it was 12 o'clock, and I was walking 3 miles there and back, and it was crazy. Nowadays, you don't have time really to do shit. By the time you wake up at 6 o'clock, that's really like waking up at 9 because by the time you know it, it's like fucking it's noon. And if you're working a 9 to 5 in this time right now, you have no life. That's just the honest truth. You have no life if you're working a 9 to 5 right now. You have no life at all, because your life is that 9 to 5 because you don't have no time. You pretty much when you go on when you take a break from your if you work a 9 to 5 and you take a day off, god damn it, my fucking weed drops. I'm about to go park my shit. If you work a 9 to 5 in this day and age, you're pretty much just taking a break. Like when you go home to go to bed, to go to work the next morning, you're just taking a break. You're not actually going home. Like back in like 2017, you work 9 hours. You let's just say you go to work at 9, you come home at 5. From 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock the next morning, that's you just going home and doing your thing. In 2023, that 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning is actually just a break. It's not really the only time you really have a day off is when your weekend gets here, and that's pretty good. It's gonna go away pretty soon. God damn it, nigga. I should have parked somewhere. Hold on, let me get I dropped my weed. Yeah, so you don't have no fucking life. Oh, hold on, let me invite brother to the room.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. It's good with it. It's funny how like now that I'm busy and I got things to do today, like a lot of people want to join in the room and stuff. But it's good though.
yeah, I support the channel.
Oh, for sure. It is Z list.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. It's good.
yeah. I just wanted to say, do people have like these fart clouds that they project? That is like, when you're going to certain areas or like when you have like a bunch of negative people around you, do their fart clouds kind of like interfere with your manifestations?
It could. This is why you got to be around people with good energy. Like even when you're talking to somebody and like they're telling you some negative information, don't cling too much on it. Like I was talking to this one guy and he was talking about how he got his car taken away because they didn't get registered, and my car's not registered and I don't want it taken away. So I'm not paying too much attention. I don't feel sorry for him, or I don't feel like bad or I don't feel nothing because I don't want to. Because if you feel too sorry and be like, oh, that's fucked up, then you manifest that into your own. Like that has nothing to do with me. So it's not like I'm being rude or mean because I respect the brother, but it's just I don't want to attract that energy and where I end up getting my car. So that whatever happened to him has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to emotionally or mentally connect myself to it. So I don't feel no type of way towards the police who did it towards him. I'm not saying I like police, but towards that situation, I don't have because it's whatever happened to him. I'm on a different trajectory. Once you start putting too much thought, oh man, that happened to me and this and that, then you're going to manifest something. Because even the guy, he even asked me, he was like he just, yeah, but that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
Actually,
man.
oh, one more thing. Uh, do you like have to have like an expectation that's like for like your mission? Like, if you like think about like if you have a lot of expectation, but like for example, let's say if you want to get a job and it's like just for a short time and like
Mm-hmm.
you get the job, but you only get paid a certain amount, and because you were in a certain frequency, you got the job, but your mind wasn't in the right place. So does your like do you have like are you supposed to have like a good expectation like that matches your mission?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, only worry about doing the mission. Don't worry about all the other stuff because one thing with me is like when you worry about the physical over the mission and the spirituality of it, then it's you're either not going to get what you want, or sometimes you may cheat the system and you may get what you want, but when you get it, it won't fulfill you, or it's not going to feel the same way. So you may say, oh, I want to get some money, or you may steal the money, but then you steal the money and then you buy something with that money and the product breaks down, or it brings you negative energy, or you doesn't bring you fulfillment. Like it's always going to be some type of problem if you don't always stay on your mission. Don't look at it like, oh, I won't get this if I don't do this. Just look at it like, even if you do get it, it might curse you, or maybe you won't get it. But at the end of the day, don't have no expectation, because it's like when you have expectation, then you say, oh, if I'm doing my spiritual path so I can get money. But then when you get the money, you may come up to a conclusion like, oh, I don't even care about money no more. Money's not that serious. I don't need money. But then that may affect you not being on your spiritual path. You see? So because you're trying to look at it, actually you can't look at it, or you may feel like based on all the pain that I went through, I deserve to be a billionaire. Or I like that's kind of how I was getting lost in my ego. I went through a lot of stuff, and I feel I through previous lives and even through this life, and I have so much. I felt like I have so much knowledge and shit. So I was like, oh, I better get this. I better, and then that's not how to do it. It's like you have to get out your ego. You can't expect really anything. Because then if you do, you're gonna feel like you're entitled to, oh, I went through more pain and healing than this person. I should be in this situation better than theirs. And then if it doesn't come out, you're gonna get pissed, and that may make you not even. That's why I just say fuck all this material, because it has nothing to do with nothing.
All right, that's all I
Yep.
gotta say. Thank you.
All right then, bro.
Peace.
All right then, man. Peace. All right then. For sure. And then we got Bryson. What's good? I'm about to add you real quick. Damn, I dropped my. Damn. Okay, good. I found it. All right, I'm about to add Bryson.
What's up,
What's good with it, man? This is the first
man? I'm
time.
good. I'm glad I was finally able to make a live. I've been wanting to make one for a minute.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like I was wondering, like I've never seen Bryson on live. Cause I see you every now and then.
Yeah, I finally caught it, and I'm definitely gonna send you some more donations, man. I really appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
you are
Thank you.
speaking so much truth. Like people don't even know and understand the onion layers of deception that has occurred to make us literally accept just an energy theft system that just steals all of our energy and our dreams. And everything you're talking about is so real. How they convince us to just be fucking debt slaves and think that life is just about going to work, and then you try to talk to these dumb sheeple about it, and they're like, "Oh, this is just the way it is. This is just how
Yeah,
it works."
it is, and the thing is, like, I'm not telling people don't work, but it's like when you work, you got to have a goal with the money, like a mission. Like
Correct.
anytime you go into these jobs, like McDonald's, for example, it's good to have a McDonald's because if you can take that money and save it and build what you're trying to build, it's an opportunity. Versus if you were in Africa, you got to collect cans for like $2 a day.
Right.
So it's good to take advantage of it, and that's why you have to have a good mindset. So when you go into these places where you work, you'll manifest a situation where you get out of that, and then it's better if you
You're
go in
right.
there. That's why you don't want to be too much like fuck the system, and like, and I hate working and always think too much of that, because if you always think that going into work, you'll manifest situations like the sheep where you just have to pay bills and you go into work and it's but if you do it, if you go in there with intention, then the spirit will manifest is where, like, no matter how many bills you got, you always still have some money, and then you could take the money from work and then do something with it.
You're right. And I've noticed that if I stay on that mind frame you're talking about, like, I don't even have to think about money. It just shows up. And so like right now, I do have a business that does make me some money, but I do also have just like on the side, like a bullshit ass job. And, it blows people's minds how much I do in my life, and just not only do how much I do and manifest, but how much I manifest without even having to use money. Like I'm dead ass serious when I tell you I've gotten trips that I've paid nothing for. I've gotten gourmet food, like 60-day dry aged Wagyu, caviar, all kinds of stuff without paying for it and without even committing a crime. Like I just, the weirdest, strangest situations just come and are attracted to me that give me all these things.
That's what's up, man. That means you're in alignment. You're on a certain frequency, so
Yeah.
that's good. Because cause I know what you're saying, because things will happen where I'll find some money on the ground, or just, I remember I was in a grocery store once, and some lady just came up to me and was like, "Here's $20." It was a regular lady. She's
It's
like,
crazy. And
she's like, "Here's $20," and she didn't even tell me why she did. She walked away.
And people
Stuff
won't
like
even
that.
believe your stories. They'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And like, I'll be getting attacked all the time when, like, I'll put a post on Facebook, be like, "You guys realize money isn't real, right?" I'm like, money is like, it's literally just a symbol we just made up.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a representation of energy. And then through this fraudulent debt-based monetary system that you talk about, they've made it into a siphon.
Exactly. And the thing is, one thing I'm starting to see is when like 99% of people, I'll say like 9 out of 10, 8 to 9 out of 10 of people, probably even 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna just say 9 out of 10. When I see them in some type of financial situation, I can look and I analyze their life. I see certain things in that they're doing in their life that is low vibrational and un in alignment, which like it confirms, like, okay, these people, they don't have money because of this. I'm not saying the system isn't at fault, but when you look at people's lives, you can see like things that, because even though the system is at fault and it's fucked up, there's things that people aren't doing, which is the reason why they're in that situation. You can't put too much blame on the government, even though you can. But if you put too much blame, that means that they're the only ones who can fix it. We have no say.
Exactly.
So
And
I like to say we have the power. So by default, you can't put all the blame on them, because we always have the power to get up out of. They don't have the power to constrict us 100%.
It's about getting out of that mindset of the Heilig. Have you ever heard of the term Heilig from like the Gnostics?
Yeah, I've heard of that term.
Yeah, so like the Heiligs are the people who are very matter bound in their thinking, and they think everything is rooted in the material illusion and appearance. And like, another thing I like that you talk about, and I'm actually getting ready to release a video about, is how these dumb motherfuckers say, "Oh, it's just a simulation." It's like, it's not actually a simulation. Yes, it's an illusion.
Yeah.
And yes, it's like we're using kind of like virtual reality technology, but we are living real lives in this, and we shouldn't just say like, "Oh, it's just an illusion,"
Yeah, like if these people didn't even know English, they wouldn't even be calling it a simulation.
Correct.
It would just be something we're just experiencing and seeing. So all of these words, and then when you look at simulation, it comes from the whole concept of their technology, computers, the 0 and 1s. It's something that's simulating something. So it's technology. So a man had to create technology for the term simulation to even come about. Because even when they created the English language, the word simulation wasn't probably even a word, because technology didn't exist. It only existed Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
we're not. If anything, a simulation is copying this. If you want to
copying
say that,
this
yeah,
exactly. That's what I said. But this is not a copy. This is an
yeah, this is
original.
the real thing.
This is an
And
original.
that's what they call a simulation because it's simulating this and whatever this is, which we don't have no name for other than that we're experiencing. You can call it life, whatever, but we called it that. But it's simulating whatever we're experiencing. This ain't the simulation. The simulation is simulating this, which a simulation would be a video game. That's the closest
Yeah.
thing, or a virtual
A
reality, or
virtual reality, or I like to
yeah,
also call it a dream, kind of like a dream where like we're dreaming this. And but yeah, but it's like we need to understand, like, yeah, we are in the real life. Like I tell people, I'm like, okay, you say this is a simulation. So I'm like, so if somebody is curb stomping you, are you just gonna be like, oh, these stomps are simulated? It doesn't matter. I'm getting my head stomped. It's
yeah,
simulated. It's like, no, you're not gonna say that. You're gonna know that that sucks to get your head stomped in. So it's just like, yeah, it's just you are
exactly.
100% right. Like people are just deep in this
Even
programming.
and even if I would, let's just say something happened where I was born where if somebody curb stomps my head, they couldn't do it. It still wouldn't be a simulation because that's how the reality was designed for me not to
Right.
get hurt. So it's like it goes beyond that. Like it's still not. Even if I was able to just fly and do whatever, it still wouldn't be a simulation because that means my mind had to. Because our mind
Yeah.
created this whole reality. That means our mind had to created it for us to
Yeah.
fly. So it still wouldn't be like
Exactly. So you're
yeah,
absolutely right. So like the highlight, they think everything is rooted, but we understand, people like us understand that we are something that precedes physical reality. And this is what I try to tell these dumb motherfuckers when I try to explain that. I'm like, money is not fucking real, you dummy. But if you're in the right frequency, not only will you get the shit you want for free, but then you'll get money too, like just
yeah.
easily, and the shit will just come to you.
Yeah, and you probably have a certain creative skill or ability or something
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
that you're
do.
doing that's allowing you to get money. You're not just getting it, like you're probably doing something in your physical life, and as a result of you doing that, you're getting the money in your
Exactly.
manifestation. It's not just you just are just thinking a certain way. You're putting in work. You're putting in
Exactly.
some physical work.
Mental, physical, and spiritual. It's all
Yeah,
three. Yeah, man. Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
And
so
you
like
say
one of the things I do that makes like some money. So I make mead. I don't know if you ever have heard of mead. It's a wine made
a
from
drink.
honey.
Oh, drink. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a wine made from honey. It's actually believed to be the oldest alcoholic beverage in history. They think
Yeah.
like early hunter gatherers collected honey, wild yeast fermented it, created alcohol or whatever. So I've been making that, and I've been having so many people who they pay more for my shit that I'm making in my kitchen and and letting ferment in my basement than they paying for the shit that they buy on the shelf. And they're telling me they're like, Bryson, your meat is better than the meat on the market. And it's because I'm putting that spiritual energy into it. And like, this is not
Yeah.
just
Dude,
work,
you,
it's a meditation.
yeah, you just said something because I know when I will go to certain restaurants and the person will have a negative energy and attitude, or the place will just look a certain way. And I'm not talking about if it looks poor or rich, or it has a certain energy. I'll
Yeah.
eat there and it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
And or the lady will have an attitude, and I wouldn't. But then I'll go to a place and I can see like the people. It's a family. They've owned it for a long time. They're nice,
Yeah.
and you can tell like they have history. Those are the restaurants because it's all the same food we're eating. But this is why you see some restaurants that have a history, and everybody goes here, and it's known for 50 years, and it's like they have a resume and a history.
Exactly.
For some people, it's just a regular place, and people just go there on their lunch, and that's it. And it's not. It's because the energy behind it, and they really love doing it. Then they're gonna prosper in it. It is.
Exactly. It's all about energy and frequency. And like you even have some real scientists that have existed in history, like Nikola Tesla, who said that shit. He said this shit is about frequency. And like, man, like this, like I said, when I talk to people, like basically most people, and I'm sure you've experienced the same thing, they just think we're crazy at this point. And
Exactly.
and they don't want to go outside of this cult that they're in, and they don't understand that they're under programs just like they've downloaded like a computer virus or some shit, and that
Hmm.
shit is stopping them from breaking through barriers. And so like I actually am now to the point where I'm telling these sheep, I'm like, actually, I do live in a different parallel reality than you. I'm like,
Yeah.
we share the same space and time, but I actually am on a different frequency. And I tell people, I'm like, I don't even give a fuck about any of these politics. I don't care what they claim the economy is. None of that shit affects me. And here's the thing.
Exactly.
When I look back on this shit, I'm actually realizing that a lot of the times when the so-called economy has been bad, I've been thriving. Like fucking 2020,
Yeah,
I fucking thrived until I was getting all that fucking free government money.
Yeah, and you could invest it and do a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I was able to invest it in my business I have now. Like, and that shit was crazy how people on unemployment, they were giving people $1,000 a week.
That's the trick. Like, what you gotta when the people.
But I know that's a trick too. Yeah.
Yeah, when because the economy is all fake. It's all man-made. So
fake.
anytime if it goes up or goes down, that means a man who has fingers and legs like we do, they made the decision. So it's all man. There's nothing to do with really. Even though people say it's emotional, and because people contributed to the moon, and they'll say money's emotional, so it can't be controlled by. You can control people's emotions. When I say money's controlled, I'm not saying like they're in the computer making $1 million or what go up and make the stock market go up by pushing the line up. I'm saying they can control it like that if they want, but they can also control it like they can create a situation like they can, if they want to make the stock market go up or go down or whatever, they could just bomb a fucking warehouse facility that is owned by one of these food companies, and then they say, okay, we're gonna bomb it next week. Get all your money out the stock or sell your stocks or whatever. Then they sell it, and then they bomb it next week, and then the stock goes down inevitably. And now the dude's richer or this dude's broke. They fuck that so they can control it. That's what I mean. They can control it. It's not just control it like, oh, they control it by making it go up and down by the computer, which they could do too, which is the digital currency. Digital currency is like, digital currency is worse than printed money if you think about it. Because people are complaining about people say, oh, they print money. But nigga, like now they just put a type of number in the system, and listen, it's money's there.
Let me tell you something. Let me just show you how, like, when you are in the right frequency, how you get this fucking data beforehand. Like, back in 2019, I was actually dating this girl who was actually, she happened to be Jewish or whatever, and her dad worked for the Federal Reserve, and he even told me, because I was telling him about, I'm like, this whole money thing doesn't make sense. They just make it up out of nothing. They create it out of debt. And he's talking about, and he's told me they're gonna make it even easier to do it because eventually, and he told me money is going to be totally digital. That's the plan they have for it.
Yeah,
and it'll be even easier to like make it. And this was just like years ago.
Yeah,
and
there's gonna be probably like so much trillionaires and shit. And all that stuff, like all these people with all this absurd money, like it's gonna probably be even worse than it is. But at the end of the day, it's really all the same thing. Like they just changing it up. That's all they're doing.
And I feel you definitely on these dummies like trying to like blame the system and blame, like you say, oh, it's the Jewish money system. It's like, well, you're using it, so it's like you can't like get mad when you're using it and I'm like, and you know, and not only that, but like not everybody who works in finance obviously is Jewish. So I try to like not really make it a race issue, but we all know obviously that the Federal Reserve is predominantly run by Jewish people. But it's just like in general, you can't complain about a system that you agree to use. If people want to do something different, they just have to choose to do something different, you know?
Exactly. And you'll tell some of these sheep like taxes. Like taxes is nothing but theft. But then people believe their tax money goes to the city and all this. And it's like
big bullshit.
They
get loans from the bank to do the construction.
Yeah. And it's like if that was the case, then how are these countries in poverty then? That means that they're taking it. If the tax thing is true, that means they're taking your tax money and they're just stealing it.
So one of the biggest bullshit things that goes on in Illinois, because I'm in Chicago, so there's the Illinois Tollway, and the Illinois Tollway got like bought out or something by some private corporation, and it's in some weird legal status. Yeah, it's in some weird legal status where it has the benefits of a for-profit corporation and the government. So like you can't sue it, but then it also is a for-profit It's fucked up. And so like they collect all this money for tolls supposedly for the highways, but yet when I fucking do research, 'cause I'm smart and I'm intelligent and I do research, I'll look up who's financing different construction projects, and it's always a private bank. So they're collecting all this money from us and still going out and getting debt that's made up out of nothing, that's
But if you
inflating
think
this
about
money
it,
supply.
every single business has to pay taxes. So by default, and like 'cause I even feel like that business was probably a business created by somebody in the government or something. It probably was just a business that was created solely just to buy that. It wasn't like no random regular person, because who really has money to say, I'm gonna buy a toll booth? What I think they do is they'll create a business, or the government will get somebody and give them money and tell them to buy it, and it looks
Yeah.
private, but it's really not. Like
No,
these
it's not.
companies, it's not.
Like
It's
all
still
those, you know, all the
influence.
so-called minority-owned business, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. They just, like, for instance,
Yeah,
they'll come.
and a minority is a disrespectful term. A
It's
minority
disrespect.
means
It's
you're
disrespect.
dumb.
Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah,
they'll come to me or you, and the shit'll be actually financed by white people, and then they'll come and just make you the face of it. But see, here's what's bogus about it that these
yeah,
people who agree to this don't understand is that if corruption ends up getting involved in it and there are like legal consequences, they let you take the fall for it, even though they were the ones actually fronting it. And that's the bogus part about it. And I've had people even try to approach me with that bullshit
yeah,
before, and I fucking smelled that shit and said no, because that's what they do. Like, you'll get money and shit while you're the front man of this and stuff, but then if they do
yeah,
something illegal, it's all on you because you're the
yeah. You
executive and the owner of
exactly.
the company.
I was watching a movie. It's called like Medea's Witness Protection. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen that. Remember the guy he got thrown in jail. The whole movie was about he had to be in witness protection or something because he owned a company, and I guess the company was doing fraud and he was the fall guy. And he was like, that's why they promoted you to CEO a month ago, and they gave you all these benefits because
Yep.
he gave moved his family to a bigger house. He had all these benefits, and he's like, oh, it's a good job. And then they came to him saying like, you got to take the fall. Why do you think we gave you the position? And it's like what you
Exactly.
just
That's
said.
what they do. And then they
Yeah,
run off behind the scenes and off with their money, and you're screwed. And it's just, yeah, now, like, one of the things you said before on one of your videos is you talk about how, like, it just is beyond imagination how evil this whole system, like, the whole thing is just loaded with trickery and deception. And that's
yeah,
why, like, I respect you so much, how, like, you see through, like, this fake ass shit, and, like, you just go get what you want. And you don't give a fuck because
yeah,
you just realize, like, fuck this shit. None of this is real. They fucking tricked us. They deceived us. And like niggas don't even understand. Like, this shit goes back to like when they
yeah.
tricked our mothers into signing birth certificates. Like, people don't even understand. Like, why is your name on every government document and on financial documents in all
Who
caps?
even said I need a name? Like, what? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like,
And
why do we need a name for? The only time you need a name is if you're in a system like we have now. Like, if I'm going to work and they need to call me in, they need to know my name. But if I'm in a
yeah,
system where I'm not saying even if you weren't working, if you were working, you don't need to know my name. If you really look at it, like that whole
right.
name thing is for control and to keep
It's for
tabs on people.
control. Well, and what they do with the legal identity. So you notice that on all government documents, your name or financial documents, your name is spelled in all caps. And the reason
Oh,
why they do that is that when you're born, they basically create a corporation that mimics the name your parents gave you. And that
okay,
corporation is what they
yeah,
claim
I heard
ownership
about that.
of. What's up?
No, I heard about that before.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so that corporation is what they own. And so when they claim you have to pay taxes and all this kind of bullshit, or that they own your economic potential through forcing you to participate in the debt-based monetary system, that's all by getting you to believe you are that legal identity. And like they use that basically to try to get around cosmic and spiritual law that
Mhm.
like really like what they're doing is actually illegal on a spiritual level, which is why we see everything getting shaken up now, because they basically have to pay for what they've done to people. And it's just,
Yeah,
I keep telling everybody, like I ask people all the time, I'm like, who even gave you the idea that anybody has the right to rule you? I'm like, these people who are in these government positions and have these titles, they're just people like us.
Yeah,
They're
It-
just as fucking stupid and clueless as
Exactly.
anybody on this planet is.
but the thing is, though, people are allowing it. Like our ignorance is
yeah.
what's keeping it. Because if as much as evil as they're doing, they're still in more alignment in terms of how like the reality is than the sheep. If that
Correct,
wasn't
yeah.
if that was the case, they wouldn't be ruling.
Yeah,
So
so
you have
they
to
got
always
the sheep
look
under
at it.
their spells. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They have the sheep on it because I tell everybody the written laws are not laws; they're spells. So here's what I tell people. I was like, you want to know what a real law is?
Hey,
Try
Brent, I'm gonna
boiling
have
water.
Okay, I'm gonna have to continue this. I just got to the store right now. I'm gonna have to cut this the live stream off right now.
Okay, yeah, cool, yeah.
And
I'll catch you back on. We'll
I'm gonna
talk
cut.
later.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll finish this later. But it was nice speaking to you.
Man, yeah,
And,
great speaking to you, man. I'm glad I finally got on one.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get on one for a minute.
Yeah, get on the next one, or I'm gonna be doing I go live regularly, so get on whenever. Feel free, because I want to continue this.
All right, sounds good. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, then, man. Take it easy.
All right, peace.
Yep. Peace. Yep.